Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily Hindu knowledge video. In the morning these videos come, in the evening the PIB videos come, both in Hindi and English language you get these videos. And here the important thing is that we are discussing important MCQs, questions and the data's facts, totally prelims oriented. These two lessons are these days, and for the next 1 week I will try to put maximum number of questions. Maybe if it is possible, then I will bring a separate question series, or I will put them into these lessons. So our emphasis on the next week will be less on the articles, more on the questions and the issues. And I want your feedback for that if you want that. And 25th of May it is. Let's start the lesson without wasting time. Regarding the courses, I always tell you 60% off is also going on, and these courses are extremely crucial. One unfortunate information came from Himalayas that 3 of the mountaineers, they died at those height, and you see it was too much of crowdy condition there because people did not take this thing with that much seriousness, and they took it more as an adventure. But you should take something from here. You see, in our life also we make big goals, but when we do not get the thorough knowledge, when we are not interested in much guidance there, and we are just making our goals and not doing proper research, and we are not matching our personality with the goal, and we are not checking this thing that are we doing enough effort for that, are we pursuing the goal with utmost level of seriousness or not, are we making somewhere any mistake. So somewhere the lack of some effort remains there, and that's why we fail in our bigger goals, because big goals, they come with big responsibility, they come with big risks also in life. You see, UPSC IAS examination is also a kind of a goal where it may bring a great level of negative impact also if you are not serious about your goal. You have made your goal, you have allotted a time of your life for that particular examination, but if you are not seriously studying, then it may bring very negative consequence in your life. It can be a big shock to your life also. So for that thing you also should be aware always. In a separate case in Surat, when we saw, that was again a case of ignorance and the ambience that has been created in our country, that always we follow trends. Wherever the crowd is going, we are all going. We are not being aware about all the surroundings, that where we are going, why we are going, and what kind of conditions are there, what kind of people we are dependent on, and where these things are taking us. You see, there was an environment, students always need help, they want the jobs and they want some important courses, so they always opt for coaching classes and all. But that's not the problem is that when it becomes a blind race, then we are not aware about anything else, and where these classes are being conducted, and most of the times these classes are there in underground buildings or maybe on the top floor. And you see, in that Surat case, the building, the top, the particular the walls and the roof, that was made up of plastic. So how dangerous it was already, but nobody cared about that thing, because all they cared about their particular studies. That's okay, but life is a big responsibility. There also we should always care about things, and we should at least judge about things for at least once, that where we are, how we are, why we are. And this is the case of awareness that we should follow there. And certainly some ignorance was there. Also, this was a case of high level of ignorance from the authorities, and a corruption case also, because who gave them that permission and those clearances and all, and how they could run that particular class in that building where no fire exit was available. So it was also the case of our the responsibility about availing the buildings, the spaces where many people are coming and they are taking classes and all. So it was a huge responsibility. But those builders, those people who were conducting classes, those teachers and those owners and all, they never cared about these risks, because when we do not see consequences, then we are not aware. But it is the case of awareness that was ignored there. And here also the blind race took everything, and so horrible that incident was, and we felt so helpless because we could not do anything. It was a matter of moments. And you see, in the fire accidents, always people die out of suffocation. It is not the heat or the fire that kills them, it is the suffocation and the breathing of dangerous gases that kills them. So these kind of issues, these are complex issues, and authorities are responsible. The people who are running that building and that classes, those are responsible, and certainly some act should be there against those people, because it is the case of extreme level of ignorance. And many classes, like in Delhi, in Chennai, in Hyderabad, in Bangalore, these kind of classes are very common, and always they find these kind of places so that these can be cheap accommodations. So that's the case. So always it is our responsibility to be aware about our life. That is also the important goal of our life. Next, these are the words that I found today, and let's talk about facts. Articles are again not there, all are political ones, not important for us. Next, government has a big goal now, higher education, investment in that area. 1.5 lakh crore rupees action plan was created, and this issue has been going on for lingering for last 5 years. They brought this thing in the last promise of 2014 election, but they did not implement it. But now this has to be done, otherwise our country, it will not have any kind of opportunity left, because this particular area, higher education area, we are lagging a lot, and we are so backward a country in this area that none of our colleges and institutions, leaving a small minuscule minority aside of IITs and IIMs, all the institutions, they are just doing their formalities, and they are no where can be called as a proper educational institutes, and proper environment is not visible. They are all domestic politics, and the recruitment of the teachers, that is also political, and always they are finding lack of investment, no interest in studies, students are fighting, politics is going on. So these are so-called addas of some kind of a basic level politics always, and that's really not good. And you see, it's a huge country, huge, 65% population is a young population. If you are not giving them this channel of their energy, that is the education, and especially the higher education, then this energy can destroy this nation. And that's why we have to raise our budget on education more than 5, 6, 7, 8% of the GDP. And this investment is crucial, very crucial. Last education policy, national education policy, came in 1986, and after that in 1992 it was revised, and now they may come with the new policy here, and they are targeting equip, means education quality upgradation and inclusion program. So it is talking about the quality education, upgradation of it, and inclusion. All things are needed. Means inclusion means all sections should be included. There is a clear bias among the rich class and the poor class. Poor class is nowhere getting a good education. You take the example of Hindi and English medium. All the rich classes people, they are getting admission in the English education always. Their kids in school life, in their college life, they are studying in the English language. But in especially the North Indian states and all, where maximum number of people, they are poor, so these students, they are getting education in the local languages, Hindi language or Punjabi language or some other language medium, and always they are finding it difficult on the national level competition. The same case happened with the medical entrances and all. So this is a very complex situation, and from here we need to take these steps. First thing is needed, that is the proper recruitment process of the teachers. Otherwise they will never be interested in giving quality education. That is ultimately needed. And you see, teaching is the area that needs a lot of appreciation in this country, and all other areas are also demanding the same thing, but teaching at least should be the biggest priority for the nation. It gives the channel to their energy, it shapes their future, and certainly the higher education, that shapes much more, and it decides about the future of this country, and that's why it's a very important goal. Next, SpaceX, the Elon Musk's company, and it launched the 60 Starlink satellites. They are going to provide internet facility from the space, and it will be above the International Space Station, so the height would be more, and 12,000 transponders they will be providing this service in the future. And this issue we had discussed, and very, very unfortunate and a very extremely horrible situation, we can say. Nobody can watch it consistently. Summit fever takes a toll on the 3 more Indians, as I told you. People who took it more as an adventure, and it was an unfortunate condition also. But you see, the managers, they are also very much responsible. Why they allowed so much of crowd there? Crowd on the Himalayas, this is bizarre a thing. And they know about the situation that many people won't be able to come back from that particular reach, and because there is a specific time around 2 to 3 o'clock they need to come back from the height, because conditions are very harsh, temperatures are very low, and air pressure is very low, and the other conditions like windy and all, they all are very, very dangerous for our life. But this was a huge mistake, and nobody, they cannot say that this much crowd took their lives, because many people were safe but only 3 died. They will say that like that, and the authorities are saying like this, like this thing. But you see, already they should know about this thing, that some of them would be vulnerable, and why you are allowing this much of crowd there. But it was the summer season, and people took it more as adventure. That was very, very unfortunate. Next, CB panel moods changes to FPI rules. 2 things we need to know here. The data is not important for us. Important is FPI and FDI. Investments are needed, and we have been making plans for that. We have been allowing this in all kinds of sectors. Mostly these are automatic routes that are allowed now. So if the investment is less than 10% of any company's stakes and all, then it would be called foreign portfolio investment, because it is a part of that particular business, and it can be a particular portfolio. So it is called as FPI if it is less than 10%. If it is more than 10%, then it will be called FDI, foreign direct investment. This is the rule, the 10% rule. You should always remember. And liberalization, this committee is proposing here, and they are saying that investment cap under a review of prohibited sectors for foreign investment for FPIs, and restriction on sovereign wealth funds for investment in corporate debt securities, and permitting FPIs for off-market transactions. So here they want some liberalization and some removal of also some of the caps and restrictions, so that more and more investment that can be routed here towards India. Before the prelims, you must go through the details of FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act, FERA, Regulation Act, and Alternative Investment Funds, and FPI I have explained to you, and the Sovereign Wealth Fund also. These are going to be very, very important. Next information, Odisha's tribal woman, the youngest woman to become a member of parliament, Chandrani Murmu. She is a tribal, 25 years of age, and a very positive thing about the youth representation of India, we can say. And she's coming from a tribal group that is much more important in our country. So that's important current affair. Chandrani Murmu is the name. It is in Odisha. Next, on her way out, Theresa May. She was elected in 16, and she came there after David Cameron. She became the leader of her party, Conservative Party, and the Brexit issue was going on. Before that, there was the voting for Brexit issue. 52% people were in favor of Brexit, and 48% were not in favor of Britain to come out of EU. But after that, consistently troubles came, highs and lows they came, and she tried a lot, many steps she suggested, many issues she tried, many ways she tried, and ultimately she is calling it a quit, and she cannot take it anymore. And before the solution of this Brexit issue, she is stepping down. On 7th of June, she has said that she will step down. A new leader would have to be elected there of this Conservative Party, because the leader of the party would be becoming the Prime Minister of Britain. So that's the issue. And all these timelines are there, but the data is not much important for us. The issue is that Theresa May is stepping down here, and she has been the Prime Minister. Next, Indian Railway Finance Corporation. It's not a PSU. That is wrong. And it's a fund mobilizing agency, the financial arm of Indian Railway. That is perfectly correct. but not only from the domestic capital market, it also takes money from international capital markets also, and it invests in the Indian railways sector. So saying that only domestic capital markets, it's a wrong statement. Also the international capital markets, they are also approached by this IRFC, so that's important. Both are wrong here, and D9 is the correct answer here. Although the line suggests correctly that it mobilizes fund from the domestic market, but only this is mentioned, this is wrong. Next, ADB, Asian Development Bank. Many issues have been there this year. You see the biggest infrastructure investment by ADB in area of metro rail project of Mumbai. So that is the biggest one till now for ADB. And before that, the Lucknow one, the Jaipur one, Bhopal one, these were also signed by ADB. So the investment has been coming ADB in India consistently from there, and the headquarter of Asian Development Bank is there in Philippines. Manila is the capital. In Manila, the headquarters is there. So Japan is wrong, and this is correct. It is a official UN observer group. So that's correct. Third one is also wrong, because total number of members are 68. 49 are from Asia Pacific region. That is correct. But 19 are also there. Additional 19 are out of Asia Pacific region. US is also the important member, and US with Japan, they both combinedly are the major stakeholder in the ADB funds. So that's very important. Although US is far away, but it takes an important position here. And one more bank is important from Asia, that is AIIB, Asia Infrastructure and Investment Bank. And it was the Chinese proposal to keep USA out from here, and it is majorly for the infrastructure investment. We are also the member, and the headquarters there in China. Importantly, US is not the part of ADB, so that's important. But sorry, the AIIB, and for the ADB, US is the important member here. So that's the difference. So only 2 is the correct option, but it is asking about the incorrect option. So 1 and 3, C would be the right answer here. Always take a note of this particular word, correct or incorrect. Next, January 19, RBI had set up a 5-member panel headed by whom? On deepening digital payments with a view of encouraging digitization of payments with a and for the financial inclusion here. So the main issue is of the digital payments and more transactions. The aim is to create a elite and fully digitized economy, and Nandan Nilekani was the perfect person for that. He was a crucial person in developing the Aadhaar system, and he was the chairman of that particular UIDI authority also. And now you see the issue of creating the society as a fully digitized society, the economic society, or we can say a total economy. Then it calls for 4 C's: the competition, confidence, co-authorization, and anyhow developing confidence in these measures, because cyber security is an important danger here. But the things are very fast, and you see we are growing extremely fast in this area. The transactions are 400-500 times more than they were before 2 years. So it's a major achievement, you can say, of a demonetization exercise. Okay, next issue which is related to this, that is vision document, and they brought up for payment and settlement system in India, and that was for 19 to 2021. It was not 2025. This is wrong. So both statements would be wrong here, because the timeline is for 2 years, 19 to 2021, and it is not NPCI that is bringing up. This is RBI, which is gonna work on this particular thing, and they launched a vision document titled Payment and Settlement System in India, PSSI. So that's important. So both are wrong here, and D9 is the answer here. Okay, established in 1875. NSE, this is wrong. NSE was established in 1992. Okay, it was not 1875. Bombay Stock Exchange, BSE, that was the Asia's oldest, not whole words, Asia's oldest stock exchange, and in the British times in 1875 it was established. So this statement would be wrong here, because NSE was established in 1992. Although it was the first exchange in the country to provide modern, fully automated, screen-based electronic trading system. which offered easy transaction trading facility to the investors spread across the length and breadth of the country. So that is correct. Second is the correct option. Third one is again wrong. The headquarters is in Mumbai, not in Delhi. So the correct option would be C2 only. Here you see we need to know about the NSE and BSE, because the news was there that SEBI barred NSE from this stock market processes and all, and it was the co-location case. In this co-location case, the issue was that some servers, they are kept in the premises of NSEs to maintain the latency issue. So it's a technical term, we don't need to go into that detail, but the importance is that due to this issue and some scam can be there. So for that reason, some brokers, you see we are investing through brokers there, so these brokers, they got some early access before other investors, or maybe others, they got the late access there. So it was sometimes maybe seconds or minutes earlier from others. So because of that, they could have distorted the market there, and it can be a very major thing and very sensitive thing. So the inquiry is going on, but now NSE was barred due to that reason. So they may ask you about anything, and this year we have seen many issues regarding the stock market, and recently it got highest jump there. And you see Nifty is the index of NSE and Sensex is the index of Bombay Stock Exchange. So that's important, and we need to know about both of them. So here the answer would be C2 only. And the NSE, National Stock Exchange, established in 1992, which has a market capitalization of $2.27 trillion, which that is less than the half of the BSE's market capitalization. So BSE is the bigger index there, and the numbers of these companies which are registered, these are more than 5,000 with BSE, and here they are around 2,500. And NSE is 11th largest stock exchange after BSE. BSE is the 10th largest in the world. Okay, 10th largest is the BSE, remember that. And NSE is 11th largest. Nifty 50 is the important flagship index of it, and all these companies are registered, and some of them are very much important, and mainly they are inviting a lot of investment, so they are counted in this Nifty 50 index. And the issue is that BSE and NSE these both are counting for only 4% of the Indian economy. Whatever trading that is happening on these two platforms, only 4% is there of the economy. So that's a very low amount of trading and investment here. And you see, if we compare this situation with the developed countries like Japan, USA and all, so the corporate sector and the companies which are totally related with the this stock market issue, so their percentage contribution in the GDP is more than 70% sometimes, but for India it is around 12 to 14%. So less contribution is there in the national GDP. So here we are lacking, and we need to bridge this gap, otherwise we can never become the superpower in a sense, because economy is everything. We are growing very fast, and still we are growing because the numbers for the corporate sector in Indian accounts, they account for only 12 to 14%, but still we are growing so fast. If these numbers, they would be like these countries of USA, Japan, which are having 70% of the contribution in the GDP. So suppose how fast we will grow in the world economy here. So that's important. So they are very much futuristic in a sense, and we need to improve these conditions, and we need to make these markets very safe. So the importance and the responsibility of the regulators, that become very crucial, and that's why SEBI is a very responsible body, and always they are taking these kind of steps to maintain the decorum there, and to maintain the healthy competition and the proper management of the companies. Bimal Jalan committee was there that told us that barely 1.3% of India's population that is investing in the stock market, and these numbers are as high as 27% in the USA and 10% in China. So 10% in China means crores of people. Okay, around 15 crore people, 15 crore people, they are investing in stock market. So the numbers are very huge, and here in India these are around 1 to 2 crore people only. Next, about the Bombay Stock Exchange, located in Dalal Street, Mumbai, established in 1875, and Premchand Roychand, the cotton king and bullion king of that time, he founded this particular exchange, and under a tree, the transactions and all, they happened at that time. So it was a great move, and it was Asia's first stock exchange, or you can say oldest stock exchange. Market capitalization is $4.9 trillion around for April 2018 numbers, and these are more than double the amount of NSEs. So that's important, and this is all for today. We will meet again with important datas and details, and come again in the PIB lesson in the evening with very important questions. We are gonna deal the prelims stage. So thanks a lot. And one more thing is left here. BSE is also a partner exchange of the UN Sustainable Stock Exchange Initiative. That detail I forgot. This is a very important issue. You see, UN is taking this particular initiative, and it established this UN SSC. And the main issue is that whatever business they are gonna come in this world, they should invest in the sustainable businesses and sustainable processes, so that at least economy and the world trade, that would not be harmful for our sustainable future. And you see, with the UN, there are many other bodies like UNCTAD, the very important trade and development body, and a Global Compact, that is also a very, very important one. This was asked in the UPSC twice. And UNEP-FI, the Financial Initiative of Environment Program, and PRI, Principle for Responsible Investment. These four bodies are there, and they all established Sustainable Stock Exchange SSC initiative. So BSE from India, that is the part of it, and it became a part of it in 2012. So that also may be asked, and other bodies are also there. So this thing can be asked this year in the prelims examination. And you see some data regarding BSE. BSE established INX, India's first international exchange of India. So INX is the name, and it started BSE Webex.co.in to enable investors anywhere in the world to trade on BSE platform. So that was also an international move. And BSE online trading, the Bolt was also established by BSE. So that's important. So they may ask you about any of the data regarding NSE and BSE. Remember that. And as I told you about the Nifty 50, that was by NSE. BSE's is Sensex. Okay, always we hear the name on the daily basis. Sensex is rising, and some Sensex is down today. So in 1986, it established the Sensex. So thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was Amit.